Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we have all been waiting for. I am sitting here with CALLA. CALLA is a 21-year-old pop R&B singer, songwriter, and artist from Houston, Texas. She is a world champion hip-hop dancer. She currently has out one song, and by the time that this episode is out, she will have her newest single, Solo, out. For all to hear, please go listen. And also, she is one of my oldest friends, so without further ado, hi, CALLA.
Hello. Yeah, I actually remember because our moms went to high school together.
I think my dad and your mom.
My mom went to Clements.
Oh, no, then never mind.
Our moms went to high school together. Yeah. And then, but my mom was friends with her dad who went to like the other high school or whatever. And I actually remember the exact moment, not that I met you, so sorry, but that I met your mom and your sister.
Yes.
We were in first grade. So I vividly remember the first time that I met your sister and your mom, and it's whenever I had just transferred to a new elementary school. I went to 3 of them, which was fun, but it was a great time for me. But I was originally in the same class as Haley, her sister.
Yes.
And
Haley is my sister.
It was like meet the teacher, and I didn't know anybody going into this new school. And I remember our moms, I can remember the classroom. We were in Miss Ivy's class. I so remember this. And I remember our moms were like, oh my God, Stephanie. Oh my God, Angie. And then they started talking to each other, and your sister had her short little haircut. And
yeah, she had a little bob.
She was like, I'm Haley. And I was like, hey. Vividly remember that.
Ever since then.
The rest is history.
It is. Alrighty, so let's dive into the music. So, CALLA, how did you get into music?
I feel like I've honestly always done music. I'm sure you can kind of even say the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember being in like choir, and I did singing competitions when I had vocal coaches, and also like my parents and my brother actually all listened to very different styles of music. So I feel like it's always kind of been in me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my idol was Shirley Temple.
Really?
If you know who she was. I used to like listen and dance and like sing her songs while I was watching that. Was it a show? Like, I don't even know. A movie? It was on a VHS
Probably.
tape.
No idea.
But I feel like I've always kind of been in it, and I didn't really like take it seriously or saw myself doing this as a profession until I was about to graduate high school and I was touring colleges.
Yeah.
What was that, like my senior year? I was kind of late to the game.
Senior year, something like that.
Yeah, I was a procrastinator, so it was definitely senior year.
Yeah. I know, because you came and visit. You came to visit Belmont, and you stayed with me.
So essentially, I wanted to go to a music school. I wanted to be a cardiovascular surgeon for the longest time. I either wanted to do that, I wanted to be a choreographer, or I wanted to be a singer-songwriter, like an artist. And I didn't really know how to get into that, because especially like where we're from, you graduate high school, you go to college, graduate college, start a career, get married, have kids, that's your life.
Yeah.
And so I thought that that's what my life had to be until I toured Belmont. Love Belmont. But it didn't really feel like my school. Yeah. Like, it didn't feel like home. And I don't know if that's just because Houston is so big and sports are such a big thing. And, you know, like Greek life is such a big thing. And after like seeing my brother go to college and what that looked like, it was a completely different experience at Belmont. And so I was like, I had a mental breakdown. I was like, I guess I'll make it work, you know? It's fine. Like, it's a great school. I thought the music library was so cool.
Oh, yeah. The music library is really cool.
I still think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they have practice rooms, which is great, and yada, yada, yada. But it didn't feel like home for me. Yeah. Or where I could see myself, like, really loving. And so I remember I was like, Mom, I'll make it work. And she's like, we're not paying, I don't even know what their tuition is, but like $65,000 in tuition for you to make it work. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point. So
it's a valid point that you have made.
So she sat me down and she was like, you don't have to go to college if you don't want to, which I literally was like dumbfounded. I didn't know that was a thing because everybody in my family's gone to college, whatever. And she was like, if you want to do music, you know, full time, we're going to do it, but you're not going to sit on your ass and do nothing. Wait, can I cuss?
Yeah, okay, absolutely.
Good. Just making sure. Sorry.
Fuck yeah.
And so she was like, you're not going to sit on your ass and do nothing and just like write songs in your room. Like, we're going to fully do it. Yeah. And so I feel like that's really where it started. Maddie Marlowe, who's like, her sister is a really good friend of mine, and she's in Maddie and Tay. Go listen to their music. It's country music. They're great. Out. Love them. Her mom, I was also having mental breakdowns to her mom about the whole experience. And she recommended me to some people in Houston who Maddie used to work with. So going through that, which they were literally a lifeline, like, I
wouldn't have known where to start.
No, not at all. Yeah. Like, my mom's like, we're going to just like you're going to make songs, we're going to put them on a CD, and we're going to send them to people. That was like the original plan. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, how do I record the song? How do I do all of this? I was like, I guess I'll YouTube it. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But then I met with Jake McKernan and Alton Hawthorne with Ampu Music. They're an artist development company. And they're in Houston. They're literally like my little family. I have a little family of people there. And that was the first time like I ever wrote a song, really, like a professional song, and recorded in a studio, which I was playing you some of the songs last night for the first time. And oh God, we've come a long way. But yeah, that was like the first time that I really did any of that. So yeah.
Got you into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, CALLA and I used to do competitions together. We used to do choir together. We were always the two kind of music girls in our school, or at least like at our time, because obviously we had like Maddie and like some other, we had some other people, but like all we knew was each other.
Exactly.
And you know, me, you, and a few other girls that we all did choir with always did music together and always would perform together. And it's just been so fun to like watch everybody grow up. And like most of us, the other girls aren't even doing anything related to music anymore, but you and I,
like a hobby for them.
You and I have like still like really stuck with it. Obviously, I decided to go a different route with the music, to go into the industry, but you know, I still love music so much. I want to be around it all the time. And so like that's why I made the choice. But I remember, similar to you, having a whole mental breakdown because I was at Belmont, and I remember being in the music program and being like, holy shit, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to do this as a career. Like, I like to do this for fun. I still love to sing. I love to find harmonies. Like, maybe one day I'll think about doing music and like releasing some like passion projects, but like I just realized I didn't want to do it. And I had a full mental breakdown because I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I came here, I've been here for 2 years. My parents have invested so much money into this, and I just like kind of switched up. But then, you know, I've kind of stumbled along, and I found podcasting, and I found that it's another medium for me to perform, and I've just found a love with that. And now I get to have my friends. Crazy. I get to have all the musicians on. I get to have dating coaches. Like, I really get to have like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is one of the biggest things that really, like, honestly kept me going on those moments when we would freak out and we're like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know how to do this. Nobody writes a blueprint for it.
No.
Like,
there's no, like, you do this, you go to college, you start at this career, and then you move up. Like, that is not how this industry works.
You write a song and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's things that you do there's a process of, you know, writing a song to it being released. There's a process of that. And it's kind of similar. You write the song, you record it, you finalize recording it, you get a distribution company, like all this stuff, and then you release it. And, you know, that has a blueprint somewhat. It's still a little bit different.
But then, like, you gotta get people to listen.
Well, that, but also your own personal music journey. Like, how do you even start?
Yeah.
And also finding that confidence in yourself to be like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Because my parents, like, when I graduated high school, I had already been working with that artist development company since like February of my senior year. So, you know, whatever, like I worked with them for 11 months before I moved here. But like, they were like, we're giving you 2 years. It was like 2 or 3 years to make it. And I was like, oh, fuck.
That's like okay,
pressure. Like, but you know, we didn't know what the music industry looks like. I have nobody in my family who is in the music industry, or really only Maddie was the one that was actually in the industry out of all of our friends.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just figure this shit out. Like I have to.
Yeah.
Because they have invested so much time and money and made so many sacrifices. And at the end of the day, the one thing that I hate to do is disappoint people. I'm also a perfectionist, so those kind of go with each other. But like, I hate disappointing people. So after my parents have done X amount of things for me, you know, you figure it out really quickly. Like, if you are made to do this, or you have to have a very real conversation with yourself, because you have to be okay being broke. You have to be okay not really having a plan, like having goals, but not necessarily a plan on how to get there. You just kind of, you have to roll with the punches.
Yeah,
you have to be okay with the word no.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, you have to know the word no. You need to know when to say it, and you need to know how to take it.
Yeah.
And that was really like one of the hardest things for me. But it's what kept me going, is like, I have people counting on me. Plus, I didn't go to college. I didn't have a plan B. Like, my mom said, if you're not going to go, you know, to college and we're doing music, you're not having a plan B, because that's an excuse to make plan A not work.
Yes.
Which I totally get. Now, people from our hometown did not get that.
No.
A lot of them were like, so your daughter's she's not going to go to college? She's just going to do music? Are you sure? Like,
yeah,
I know you love your daughter, but like, are you sure?
Yeah. And also, like, the music industry, like, going in as a musician, people don't talk about this enough. It is so expensive.
Oh, God.
Like, you can't, like, you don't get to go into it and then, like, just release music and blow up. I mean, of course, there are, like, maybe a handful of people that have had that experience, because you never know. But there's so much work. It's blood, sweat, and tears, and then a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, like you have to be okay being broke. Yeah. That, and you have to learn how to hustle. Like, I think the most jobs that I had at one point was, I worked at a juice place, and then in between working at a juice place, I would dog sit and house sit for people, and I would also nanny some people here. And then also within that, I was selling clothes. I was doing this thing, like, I was recording demos for people. I was doing anything I could to get a little bit of money, because all of that money would go straight into the music industry. Yeah. So, like, you have all of these part-time jobs while being a full-time singer-songwriter recording artist. Yeah. And you just have to be okay with it.
Yeah. So, you moved here about 2.5 years ago, you think?
I moved here January of 2020, which was like literally the worst time to move to a brand new place, where I only knew you and then Shane and Eric, who are like they call themselves my gay uncles. They're like my family here. Yeah. Yeah. But you were the only person my age that I knew here.
Yeah. So you moved here to work with Shane. Tell me about your experience moving to Nashville and building a life in a new city and building a career in a new city.
I hated it. I hated it. I lived here for 3 months, and there was that huge tornado that hit, and then COVID was happening in March, and my whole family decided that it's not a good idea for me to be here during COVID, which thank God I didn't, because it turned into this, you know, I don't even know how many, it's still happening.
Yeah. I think I was home for like 6 months during COVID.
Same. And moving here, I still miss Houston so much. I'm definitely a Houston girl. I miss the streetness of it. I miss the hardness of it. Like, you kind of have to look over your shoulder, and I kind of miss that. Like, Nashville's great. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful here. Yeah. It is so pretty. I've never had all 4 seasons.
Oh my God, the seasons here. That's like one thing that I love. Like I'm fall and spring in Nashville.
Those are the only reasons why I'm still here.
The best times.
That is literally the only reason, besides like my music that's going on. But like, for actually living here, it's the seasons. Yeah. Because I try to avoid Nashville during December and January and kind of February too, because it's
February is the worst month to come here. Never come here in February.
No. And when I moved here, it was gray. If you don't know what Nashville is like, during the winter, it is gray. There's not a cloud. The whole sky is just one cloud. Yeah. It's probably like in between 7 to 12 degrees, which that's unheard of where I'm from. Yeah. Like, that you don't have that in Houston. Yeah. And it's gloomy. It's just depressing. And on top of that, so when I moved here, you were literally the only person my age that I knew. And then I had Shane and Eric, who I love them, but you know, I wanted to make friends my age, especially not going to college. Like, it's crazy to think about it now, but I was having like FOMO. Like, I would see all my friends at frat parties and, you know, going to football games and making their like true friends that you are always told that you're going to make in college. I was seeing that happen, And then when I moved here, I was like, well, shit, I don't know anybody. And I didn't have a job towards the beginning of it. So I was just like, I don't even know where to get started. I don't know what to do. And then also, right before I moved back to Houston for COVID, there was a massive tornado that hit Nashville. I have never been in a tornado like that. I know we have them in
we have them, but they're small. They
small.
Don't really do too much destruction. They are scary. I've been caught in one, but the tornadoes here are massive. It tore down all of East Nashville.
I've never experienced that in my life, and I didn't know that tornado sirens were a thing. So literally
the cowbells are so scary.
Oh my God. I was in between moving out of the Airbnb that I lived in and moving into this apartment that was such a shit show. I don't even want to get started with that, but my mom was staying in the apartment packing up stuff, and I was packing up stuff at the Airbnb because we were about to go back to Houston literally the next day. And it was one of those nights where I fell asleep, and I fell asleep with all the lights on. I had all of my clothes that I had worn all day. I didn't shower. I was just out. I was so tired. I had to sit down for a second, and I knew I shouldn't have done that because when you do that and it's late, you're going to fall asleep. And I knew better, but whatever. My phone was dead. I woke up to the sirens, and I honestly thought bombs were being dropped. I didn't know what was happening. I was terrified because they're loud. And then I'm like, oh my God, wait, where's my mom? What's happening? I don't know what's going on, blah, 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 blah.
You're like, please charge my phone. Don't let the power go out.
Oh my God. And so turns out it was a tornado. And I remember just having to go into the basement, which I've never had a basement. We always have attics in Texas. Going into the basement, which I was terrified of, and I had never once been in there because I was scared someone was living in there because I watch scary movies and freak myself out. I have a phobia of most bugs, but certain bugs, and I was like, I don't know what's in there. There could be mold. I knew there was water damage in it, and I was just sitting there. Genuinely, I sent my whole family a text message saying I love you. Y'all have done everything for me. I could start crying. I literally thought I was about to die.
Yeah.
I have tears in my eyes. It was horrifying.
No, that was so scary. I remember, this isn't a tornado episode, but quick little tangent on the tornado. I remember I had the longest day. I climbed into bed and I heard what sounded like a tornado. And growing up in Texas, I knew what they sounded like, and I heard it and I was like, that sounds like a tornado. That's weird. What the fuck is going on? And I peek out of my curtains and I see that the sky is green, and that's PSA, when you know. That is how you know. The sky will be green if you are experiencing a tornado. I don't know why, but every time there's been tornadoes, the sky has been green. So I looked out, the sky was green, and I remember thinking, oh my God, there's a tornado. Next thing I know, I hear the cowbells, but they were so faint where we were at that I could hear them, but it wasn't super loud. And then I realized, and I went and woke everyone up. But aside from the tornado.
Basically, with all of that being said, the reason why I talked about that is because Nashville is apparently known for having tornadoes in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. So
can we at least have it in the day where we're all awake and aware?
Exactly. So with all of that being said, when I went back to Houston, I was like, I'm staying in Texas. Fuck this place. It was just not a good scene. But then I was home for a while and basically got told that I was moving back here.
Yeah.
So.
And then COVID happened too. And so then the whole music industry was just at a standstill. There was nothing going on.
It was, but it wasn't. What really sucked, I actually taught myself how to record. Just record my vocals over COVID because I was like, that I had never had so much time to do stuff. Yeah. So I feel during COVID, you either took a break and were just chilling. You were just doing your own little thing in paradise, on vacation, whatever. Obviously, there was a pandemic, so I'm not going to make it sound so glorious. But, you were doing your own thing, having you time, or you were like, I'm going to hustle. And so with me, only having, 3 years to make this thing work, I was like, let's fucking go. And so I taught myself how to record, and Shane and Eric actually came to stay with me, and Shane's, a phenomenal songwriter. Shane Stevens, I absolutely love him. And he and I were writing a lot when they came to stay with us. And then, but there was the people that we'd be writing with sometimes, they're like, oh, well, we're actually going to go stay at our house in Palm Springs or whatever. So we're just going to have we're just going to take a break for like 2 weeks. And I was like, no, I need to get things done. Like,
yeah,
no breaks.
You're like, this is not a time to relax. But they are also so far in their careers that they're like, oh
no,
no,
I deserve a break.
Yeah, they're like, this is the time I get to relax. Yeah. And this is the only time for a while, probably.
It was kind of the struggle of being productive, but also like taking the time to really focus and work on myself. Yeah. Because when I moved here, I don't think most people really understand, like, I was already kind of in quarantine for 3 months. Like, because there would be weeks where I wouldn't leave my house. So like I was basically in quarantine, and then I went into quarantine. So I had a lot of time to work on myself, and it was like the best thing for me and also like one of the worst things for me.
You just had to like sit there with your thoughts, and you're just like,
yeah, that'll eat you alive.
I hate myself.
Yeah, but I'm happy I moved back here. Yeah. I'm happy I sucked it up.
I think that like second go around was like I knew what to expect.
I mean, I'm not saying I knew what to expect, because life sometimes just throw things at you, but throws things at you.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thanks. But yeah, no, I moved back here in September, and I lived with a songwriter. Her name's Maria. And, you know, that was a really good environment for me during that time. And I mean, I didn't really have a choice. My mom said I'm moving back to Nashville, and I was like, well, I don't really have a choice, so I guess I'm going. I don't have another plan, so this is what it's going to be. And I'm really glad that I did move back, because I feel like everything's kind of falling into place. Starting like
I feel like lately, like just for both of us, everything's just kind of like
aligning.
Yes.
We're in alignment.
We are in alignment. I don't know what's going on, but like a few months ago, I was not in alignment. Let me tell you that. But here we are, and we're better than ever, and we're thriving. And even though, like, you know, launching a whole podcast and like starting from the ground up with social media and stuff, like, it is hard, but like everything is just with this show has been so easy lately. And I feel like for you too, everything is just like working out how it's supposed to.
It's crazy, because there were days when I would just be like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. I guess I'm just going to wing it. And then also, like, I put so much pressure on myself because I didn't want to look like a joke, if that makes any sense. Like, everybody from where we're from, all of our friends, everybody that I went to high school with, like, everybody knew that I was moving to Nashville for music, and I was going to full send it. Yeah. Everybody knew that. So I kind of wanted to prove all those people wrong who told me I couldn't do it. And I put a ton of pressure on myself. But I mean, recently, it's crazy. Once you're in alignment with God, like, doors open. Yeah. And I feel like I kind of see things with like a pair of sunglasses on almost, where everything is kind of filtered. I can see through the bullshit. I can see it for what it is. If something happens, I can take myself out of it and see it from a third person's point of view, and just kind of look at the situation for what it is and deal with it. Yeah. You know, and not go around it, not avoid it, but just move through it. Yeah. Which has been great.
For me, when, you know, all of that stuff went down, I think that I wasn't in alignment. I think that I was not on the path that I was supposed to be on. And I truly believe that what happened would have happened even if there weren't like certain things. Like, I think it was going to happen. That huge fallout was going to happen. And like I think
there was a lot building into it.
There was a lot of buildup, but I think also like there were so many signs telling me to leave this situation, and I didn't. I just kept fighting it, and I just kept ignoring it. And then finally, like, once I left, my life, not that it's easy, because I definitely have had breakdowns about what I'm doing, but like my life has just been going on the track that I genuinely feel like it's supposed to right now. And this is the first time in a long time that I've felt like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm on the right path.
Confident in yourself. Yeah. Yeah. It's really crazy once you kind of be like, oh shit, I totally just did that. Like, look what I'm doing. You're excited and you're confident and you are just happy to be doing what you're doing. Yeah. You know, it's your passion. Yeah. And there's something to be said about that.
Yeah. So once you moved here, you started writing a ton. Tell me a little bit about, you know, the release of your last song and what you're doing right now.
So, oh my God. Okay. Where do I even start? I have like 80 songs in my phone that are written, and I have a demo for all of them. I have a lot of music. With this being said, you know, some songs are not my genre anymore. Some songs could be fixed, you know, lyrically or whatever, but I feel like once I moved in with Maria, she was kind of a new mentor for me in that moment. And the hardest part was trying to figure out who I was as an artist, because I have a lot of things that influence me, but trying to find my own personal sound that's unique to myself. You know, I want somebody to hear my song, you know, playing through Macy's or whatever and be like, oh, that's CALLA. Like, I know that's her. I know her voice. I know her vibe. Yeah. And so trying to find my thing it took some time, but I explained to Maria what I wanted. And I said, you know, having a hip hop and a dance background, I definitely want to be able to dance with. There's no way that I'm a world champion hip hop dancer and it's not supposed to be in my music for something. Yeah. Like, there's no way.
Like, my music has to be able to be danced to.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, anytime that I've envisioned my shows or anything like that, I would always see myself dancing and having backup dancers and, you know, doing things that I love. Yeah. And so I explained to her, I was like, I want the R&B and hip hop backbeats in my music, but I have a really wide range in my voice. So, and I have a strong, like a raspy voice too. And I was like, so it's definitely going to be pop. Whatever I do. I feel like pop is just like what's popular at that time. You know, the Beatles were pop at one time, but you know, when you think of them, they're rock.
I feel like pop is changing so much right now, especially like it's like more alternative pop in a sense. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I just think that people have this image of pop, but pop is just whatever's trending basically.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to figure that out. Yeah. To actually let that sink into my brain, because I'm a very edgy person. I'm a very bold person. I will tell you how it is. I've always been like that, and I don't really like hold back. I'm good with confrontation, and a lot of my songs kind of have a fuck you vibe to them. But I want to do it in a way where, you know, some songs it may be more shown, where other songs it's kind of just like the underlying feeling of it or the underlying meaning with the lyrics. Yeah. So, and I love alternative music. I love really anything 90s, like 90s R&B, 90s grunge, like rock, alternative. I love that type of music. So I wanted to be able to incorporate my love for that with the lyrics and make them be edgy and different. Yeah. So kind of, it took me a second to figure out my sound and have all of these things, because I'd have songs that are super pop. And going into the industry, I knew I'm not country. Yeah. I'm not a country singer, and I'm not a bubblegum pop singer. No. Like Katy Perry, California Girls, I love that song. I will dance my ass off to that song, but that is not who I am. Yeah. So it took a second, but I finally figured it out.
Yeah. So what were like some things that you did? Like, were you just writing songs and then finally you like wrote one, you're like, this is it? Or like, how did you get to that point?
When I was in Houston, I thought I had my first single, which was literally 2 years ago. I thought I had my first single, and I released my first single last October. Yeah. Which is called Too Nice. Y'all should go listen to it. And
shameless plug.
Shameless.
That's what we're here to do.
My music. And, you know, I wrote probably, I say like 8, 9, 10 songs, maybe 10 songs, I think. And you know, after getting the demo, there was just a feeling about Too Nice that was relatable. I was really in like a sad girl pop vibe for a minute. I don't know what was going on with me, but I was definitely feeling that. But, you know, my whole thing with my career is I want to balance the darkness with the lightness, the edginess, but still let it be positive, because I want my music to affect people, and most of the time in a positive way, unless it's directed at one person. But I wanted that to happen, and Too Nice felt like the perfect combination of it, and I could really see the big picture with it, compared to some other songs, you know? Yeah. And you know, some of those songs, Solo, which is my new song that's coming out, or it's going to be released by the time that this comes out.
We were getting there, but it's fine. We just dropped it.
But that's one of the songs that I wrote out of the 10. Like, I have a lot of music coming out that I'm picking and choosing now, which is great to have a catalog. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so you just kind of sprinkled it in there a little bit, but here's what we're here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about your newest song, CALLA. It is called Solo.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
So I love this song so much. I'm so excited. It's finally coming out. It's so good. It has that perfect combination of everything that I wanted in it. Yeah. So Solo, when I originally wrote it, I kind of wrote it about my experience with the industry. There was a lot of over-promising and under-delivering.
Yeah.
There was a lot of just, kind of being led on in a sense.
Yeah.
And being lost also. That was like a huge thing because you don't want to act like you know better.
Yeah.
In this industry because I didn't know shit. Like, I didn't go to school for music. I literally graduated high school, and did I really even pay attention in high school? No. So, like, to be honest, I'm so sorry to my teachers. I was so disrespectful, and I just did not listen. However, I was just lost. I didn't know who I was. And I'd be bullied into kind of, oh, this is who you are. You're this image.
Yeah.
You're this pop rock, or you're this bubblegum pop girl, or you're this solely R&B girl. And I was like, no, like, there's a cohesive blend of me. And I feel like I couldn't really speak up about that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like, I just got thrown through a loop. Like, it's crazy because when I started with saying I'm R&B pop, with some edgy lyrics. That's literally what I started in 2019 when I originally started with the development company. And to this day, what am I? I'm pop R&B with edgy lyrics, and I should have just spoken up about it.
Yeah.
But I was nervous, and it's kind of about just me kind of saying F it. Like, I'm so tired of being walked all over.
Yeah.
And being led on. And, so I decided, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay true to who I am. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But if it works for some people, then I want those people to like my music.
Yeah.
Those are the fans that I want that connect with it. And then I wasn't going to release a song for a while. Like, I wrote this song probably in March of 2021. I don't know, something like that. Maybe late 2020. I wrote this song, and the biggest thing in this industry is learning when to speak up, but also not burning bridges. Because I don't ever want to have a bad relationship with anybody, honestly. I don't hold negativity in my heart towards anyone. It's a new version of myself that I'm learning to love, and I'm really liking, but I don't want to hold that. So I didn't want to release a song because I didn't want it to affect anybody that might have had a hand in helping my music.
Yeah.
But I took a step back from it, and it was actually during, when was the last time I was in Houston? Like Father's Day this past year. So like June.
Yeah.
I was listening to it while I was laying out by the pool. And one of the things that I went into with making music for my upcoming releases is that I want to make music that I would listen to, like laying out by the pool, that I have memories with my friends, or getting ready before we would go out.
Yeah.
Or also like smoking too. Like, those are the vibes that I wanted for my music.
Yeah.
And I was laying out by the pool, and I listened to it, and I was like, wait, this song's really fucking good. Like, what am I doing?
Why am I sitting on this?
And I was listening to it from a third person's point of view. And I was like, this could literally be about anything. So then I started thinking about my relationships that I've had, which they have ran their course. They have ran their course. But, and that song fits with them. Like, I have been led on. I have been in like 5-year situationships. Like, our faces looking at each other, like,
Yeah.
Oh God, they're getting better though. I'm having better taste in people, just in general. But, so this song really represents that, and going off on my own and owning who I am and not letting anybody tell me anything different from it.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you're finally like stepping into yourself, and it's been really cool to see you grow, one, as a person and as a friend, and two, as an artist, and getting to the point where you're like, no, like, I've had people try to tell me who I am, but like, this is me and this is what I'm doing.
It's so sad because it's like there's so many people in this industry. Like, I just connected with this girl, and I absolutely love her. She's a brilliant photographer and songwriter. And her and I had, I'm not even kidding, like, the life that I lived was 2 years right after her. Like, she lived the same life as me just 2 years prior.
Yeah.
We had the exact, people try to tell us who we are, how we should look, how we should act, how we should dress.
Yeah.
If what we should eat, like, everything. Being molded by people. And especially, I don't know if this happens with men too, because I'm not a man, but like, as a woman, you get defined and judged with everything.
Yeah.
With everything, especially in the music industry, because your face, it's your body, it's your style, your look. That's what's out there for the world to see. And everybody was so judgmental of everything, or very, very critical. And I like constructive criticism. I think that if you don't get it, you can't grow.
Yeah.
You know, so if something sounds like shit, I need you to tell me, and I will work my ass off till it doesn't, or something like that, you know? And it's just sad that so many people in this industry go through the same thing of being told who they are or what they should be, or, you know, what their heart really wants them to be. Like, no, this is who I am. This is what I like. If, you know, if people out there like the same thing as me, or like the same vibe or music or style or whatever, then you know, that's what I want. I want those genuine connections.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to quote the song real quick. One of the lines in there is, you brought me so low, now I'm going solo. Right? Is that correct?
Oh, you took me so low.
Oh, you took me so low.
So now I'm going solo.
So it's like, oh, you took me so low to my breaking point. Now I'm going on my own.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like,
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about the lyrics of the song. I don't have them pulled up. But what are some of your favorite lines from the song? And tell me what they mean to you.
One of them is, you keep on chasing the new thing, and you keep on changing the game up. And I feel like that is so prevalent in so many aspects of my life, that, you know, somebody gets, I'm great, and then there's this bright, shiny thing over here, and they just run to it. Yeah. And I'm like, or, you know, talk about it from a relationship standpoint. I'm in a relationship, and then there's this person over here, and she's new, and she's hitting on you or whatever, and you cheat on me. Like, there's always something new. Yeah. There's always going to be somebody better than you, smarter than you, prettier than you, that you just, I feel like I was told that as a child. Yeah. Actually.
Well, there always will be. It's the truth.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's one of my favorite lyrics, because it's like, I'm finally calling out those people who made me feel like shit, you know? Yeah. I'm tired of catching you lying. Well, it goes, I'm tired of catching you lying and drying my eyes and fixing my makeup. That I feel like is a whole nother thing too, because kind of going along the lines with your breaking point. But like, there were so many nights that most people, you know, when they see me, they think that, or I would think that they think that I'm like a positive person, you know, and whatever. And that most people don't really see what's going on underneath the surface, you know, of whatever front they're putting up. And for the longest time, I always put up this front that I'm, you know, you can say whatever the hell you want to say to me. It's not going to affect me. Yeah. But writing those lyrics, like, I can't tell you how many times that I have gone into a session or something, and I would literally like be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, whatever, would go to the bathroom and would just have a breakdown because of how I was being treated in the session. Like that itself. So
yeah. How were you being treated? Like, was it like male dominated? What do you mean by that?
Oh God. Where do we start?
Yeah.
I have been in sessions where, you know, as the artist, and as a songwriter, I like to typically walk in with titles, with lyrics, with a vibe, what, you know, references of maybe what I'm thinking of or whatever, and multiple different ideas. Like I have a book, I have a song book of different ideas and maybe what I could hear it sounding like and whatnot, and different production styles. I walked in, I was like, it was my first time working with these people. And I was like, hey, so this is like what I'm thinking, like, and I'm also I'm a pretty open person when you as a, like, just as an interaction, but then also as a songwriter. And I feel like the best songs come from being so open. So it's a very vulnerable place when you're writing. And when you come in with these ideas, and I was like, this is what I'm feeling because this and this and this. I always like have a backstory to my songs. I feel like, I don't know how other people write songs, but I always have a story to my songs. Yeah. And I basically gave different ideas, and I was like, oh, and it could, you know, we could reference this, and I really want these 808s in it. And like, I had this whole idea, multiple whole ideas. Okay. No. It started laughing. That sounds like a joke. Are you being serious? No. I literally sat in the corner. I paid for 4 hours of studio time. I sat in the corner while these people did jack shit. I didn't say a word. And I went into the bathroom and I just started sobbing. And I was like, because we talked about how expensive the music industry is, renting a studio for 4 hours and also paying these people. that already in itself. And I felt so taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And walked all over because I was the only female in the room. And I was young too. And I'm still a new artist, but I was a brand new artist.
Yeah.
And
you weren't like willing to stand up for yourself or speak up. You were just trying to like, you know, get in, coast by without getting like too much, I don't know what the right word is, but like you're trying to get off scratch free basically. Like you were less willing to speak up because of where you were at in your career.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't want to, you know, have bad relationships with people or burn bridges.
Yeah.
And after that, I literally was like, I'm never working with these people again. And honestly, one of the things that I'm doing now, which I feel like is why I'm in such good alignment, is because everybody that I work with, they're good people. They're extremely talented. Don't get me wrong. These people are extremely talented and honestly, like, kind of out of my league.
Yeah.
But, you know.
That's not true. Don't shit on yourself.
Yeah, no. I'm up there. But everybody they have a good soul and a good mindset, and they're positive people, and they genuinely care about others.
Yeah.
And they're phenomenal, you know, artists or writers or producers. And I want an organic relationship with anybody I work with. And I feel like, you know, in a writing session, you can feel when the vibes are off.
Yeah.
There's an energy. And I started protecting my energy and protecting, you know, my soul. And I'm not sharing that with people who are assholes or who like to take advantage.
Who don't deserve it.
No, like my circle, my team, I honestly was thinking about this the other day and talking to my mom, like out of all of these years that I've been doing, I mean, all of these years doing music, but like out of this entire journey, which has felt like a lifetime so far.
I mean, it basically has been.
It's felt like it. You know, I have never had such a good team around me and friends that I could ask advice for. And that's why I feel like everything's working. Yeah. Everybody has a very strong connection with their faith, and everybody, like I could bring so-and-so to come work with this producer or this writer to come meet this photographer, and everybody's going to get along. And I want to keep it like that. Yeah. So it's been working out a lot better. I'm not going back to those whole days, and I feel like that kind of gets captured up with this song.
Yeah. CALLA was kind enough to let us actually play a little clip of the song for you guys. Obviously, y'all only get a little teaser because then you have to go to CALLA's account and you have to go listen and stream it and follow and subscribe and all the things, but we'll get into that at the end.
Yeah.
But without further ado, let's hear the song. This is Solo by CALLA. Yay! Snaps for CALLA.
I'm so happy that by the time that this podcast comes out, like it's going to be released.
I know. People can literally listen to this episode as they should and go listen. So thank you so much for being kind enough to let us use a little snippet of your song.
Of course.
I'm so excited. Oh my God, y'all. It's literally out. Like you have to go listen to it.
Please go listen to it. And, you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know, it is what it is. But I really want you guys to go hear this song, and I hope it kind of gives you that same energy and that same confidence that I get when I listen to it.
Yes, it's such a good song, and as y'all know from the clip that you just heard, it's a banger.
It is a banger.
It's going to be great to listen while you lay out. It's a great song to drive with the windows down.
Yes.
It's so fun.
It's a fun song.
Okay, now that CALLA has been kind enough to listen to our song, okay, tell us about what's next for your career. Let's start with we won't do like a 10-year plan, but like tell me what's next.
It's like I don't have one.
What's up next with CALLA?
So, oh my gosh. Okay, I have a ton of music that I'm releasing. Originally, I was going to do 2 singles and an EP and then a single after that. And I've decided to do all singles.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the direction that the industry is headed in.
That's what everybody's
doing singles, and then
that.
they put it on an EP, and then maybe add 1 or 2 new songs and release it.
The thing is like whenever you do an EP and you want to get your song playlisted, usually they're only going to take 1 song from the EP. Yeah. Now, if you do all singles,
then you get opportunities to get them on playlist.
Exactly. So I don't want to say the song titles out loud.
How many do you think you're going to release in this year?
In this year?
Yeah.
It really depends on how far solo goes.
Yeah.
That was like the original thing.
Are you thinking like once a month or once every 2 months? What are we thinking?
Well, I'm for sure going to be releasing one in the honestly, like one in the fall. I mean, technically, I guess September's fall.
Yeah.
But like October for sure.
Okay.
And then probably November as well.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, y'all
and
heard
I
it
kind
here
of
first.
want to do a Christmas song. I don't
you
know
should
why.
do a Christmas song.
It's crazy.
Can I do background vocals?
I hate Christmas music, of course.
Do some little BGVs.
I hate Christmas music. Nobody judge me for that. I like very specific Christmas songs. Yeah. I don't like Jingle Bells or like the songs that
Holy
you would
Night,
hear.
That song slaps.
See, that's the Celine Dion. Stop. Don't get me started.
Yes, like, definitely release a Christmas song.
Or like Hallelujah or, you know, those songs. Yeah. I'm not a big Silver Bells person, which that's Mackenzie's favorite song, by the way. But if you're listening to this.
Solid. But
I kind of want to do a Christmas song. I know you're usually supposed to write them or record them in the summer, and we're a little past summer.
You should probably get on that ASAP.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge, sharing your story, and being vulnerable with us. So where can people find you? Where can we go? Your song is obviously out. So if you're listening to this right now, as soon as this episode ends, go listen. Exactly. It'll be linked in the show notes. But tell everybody where we can find you.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. We've been talking about this for a minute. And now such a great time to do it too. But you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok, it's at CALLA Music. My Twitter is I am CALLA Music. I have a website called callapopmusic.com. And I'm on Spotify. And Apple Music. And I just released my old song to SoundCloud last night. I didn't even think to do it, but I was like, why not? So
there you go.
Exactly.
And YouTube too. You have some lyric videos up.
I have YouTube as well.
What's your YouTube?
Should be CALLA Music.
Okay. Beautiful. And I will get the links to all of that. We will link it down below as well. But you heard it here first. CALLA Music. Remember her name because she will blow up. And we are
so sweet.
But no, it's true. Like, you work your ass off. You're a hustler, and I truly believe in you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.
Alrighty. Thank you, guys. And as always, you know that you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Riley Nelson 18. You can find the podcast at This Hits Different Podcast on Instagram and This Hits Different Pod on TikTok. My website is www.thishitsdifferent.com. And one last thing, please, please, please rate and review this. Go give it 5 stars. If you enjoyed this show, I put a lot of work into it, and it really just helps me. It helps boost my show and my platform. And if you like it, please share it. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.